I hope everyone had an awesome week. Mine was kind of fun, but super busy. I'm definitely looking forward to a weekend. Anyway, I said I could talk about it in my last video, and now I can. I am officially sponsored by Array Gaming. They make gamer clothing for gamers like you and me. They made this tray chic little number that I'm wearing right here. And if you like it and want to buy this shirt or a whole bunch of other gamer shirts, just go to their website, enter my code 18lives. I'm shameless, I know. You'll get 10% off your purchase. And whatever purchases you make using my code, I will get a 20% commission. So you're getting some cool clothes and you're helping me out. Oh, that sounds like a nice deal to me. You're not here to hear me talk about my sponsor all day. We're here to talk about my sins. So let's go.
Yua Ishii recently moved to Willow Creek from Mount Komorebi, mainly because I made her shortly before Snow Escape came out. She's a hardworking, ambitious girl who knew from a very early age that she wanted to make a difference in the world. Her parents gave her up for adoption when she was born, and her biggest goal is to make sure no one ever feels as helpless as she did when she was a child ever again. Looking at Yua, the phrase police officer probably isn't the first thing that would come to mind, and that's exactly how she likes it. Suspects tend to let their guard down around pretty young girls, so the police chief tends to put her in charge of interrogations. Spending all day around angry prisoners who never shower isn't exactly Yua's idea of paradise, but if she can make at least one Sim's day better with something she does, then it's all worth it. Normally her focus at work is impossible to break, but Peter Langford has been paying an awful lot of attention to her at the station lately. It's only some harmless flirting here and there right now, but if given the proper push, things could get interesting. In my playthrough, Peter didn't commit to making a real move with Yua until after Karen had been dead a while. They got married and had 2 sons. She actually brought a lot of peace to the Langford household. Her dedication to fitness helped Peter find a better outlet for his aggression, which brought out a softer side of him. He's still but thanks to Yua, at least he's not quite as big of one. This is Yua's Japanese bobtail, Hime. Hime is a very smart and sweet kitty who completely adores her human mom. Whether watching sports with her or supervising as she works on case files, whenever Yua is home, Hime is right by her side to offer a snuggle and a purr. Those definitely come in handy after a particularly rough day at the police station. I think every cat owner could use a sweetheart like Hime in their life. That's all for the Ishiis. Time to mosey on down to the next house and meet the next family. The Augustins are a tight-knit Haitian family who may drive each other up the wall most days, but will always be there for each other when need be. We'll start with Dad, Jonas. Fiery but devoted, Jonas Augustin is the pilot light for the entire Augustin clan. He loves to work with his hands. Give him a broken thing, and most of the time, he can fix it. Give him a block of wood, and he can turn it into a handcrafted work of art. His youngest son, Eli, keeps telling him he should sell his stuff on Plopsy, but Jonas doesn't really like to use the internet very much. It makes him nervous. He'd rather just make cute little gifts to give his friends and family. Nothing wrong with wanting the simple life. He works for the same company that Walter Horvath does, and the two have struck up a friendship. They get together at the Blue Velvet on the occasional weekend for beer and good times. Jonas makes sure never to mention llamas or burgers while they're there, because he made that mistake once and Walter got them thrown out of the place. This is Fabiola, Jonas's wife of over 30 years. She's a hot-headed neat freak who will not accept anything less than a perfectly tidy house. This isn't very hard for Jonas and older son Trey to keep up with, but Eli can be a bit of a slob, which means he takes the brunt of the scolding. Eli's become tired of this, and their mother-son relationship has taken a nosedive. It isn't beyond repair though, so if you want things to be better between them, it isn't impossible. Fabiola works at the same catering company that Camilla Horvath does in my playthrough. They gossip and brag about their kids while waiting for food to finish cooking. She has an extremely powerful temper, but manages to keep it under control most of the time with knitting and cleaning. If she didn't have those things, the house would probably be a lot less calm than it is. Scary, right? Here's Jonas and Fabiola's oldest son, Trey. Growing up on action movies and news stories about heroic cops, Trey decided pretty early on that's what he wanted to do with his life. It took a lot of work and sleepless nights, but his dream came true. Fabiola and Jonas are extremely proud of their son. He's the first Augustin to graduate from college. Trey is a good cop too, rare as those are. He's fair, calm-headed, and does his best to make sure that his calls are the right ones. Honestly, if more cops are like Trey and less like Peter Langford, the world would be a much better place. In my playthrough, he ended up married with 3 children, but I'll get more into that when we get to Bridgerland Bay later on. Young Eli here is at a crossroads in his life. He's been hanging out with a bad crowd, sneaking out, and causing all sorts of mischief around town. He's been harassed by the police several times. His grades are awful. Jonas and Fabiola are at their wits' end, and Trey is about ready to drag him to the police station to give him a good scare. Tiffany, Bonnie, and Andrew have been trying to give Eli more positive outlets for his mischievous nature, and it's been working, but his other friends are feeling left in the cold. I'll tell you more about them when we get to Oasis Springs. Feeling caught between 2 worlds is never a good place to be, so what will Eli do? In my playthrough, he turned his life around, improved his grades, married Tiffany, and had 2 beautiful daughters. He stayed close with his troublemaking friends, just without the trouble. They hang out at the club almost every weekend to dance the night away. Eli also got a job as a social media influencer, giving him a perfect outlet for his creativity. He's made a decent living doing it too. Keep on hustling! Finally, this is Fabiola's Sphinx, Urzuli. She's a smart and loving cat who loves to snuggle with her family on the couch and keep their home safe from pests. She likes to get into invasions in the neighborhood, but always comes home. The other neighborhood cats all respect her and don't give her much trouble. She's a fantastic kitty. I know a lot of people are freaked out by Sphinx cats, but I think they're adorable. I want to get one someday. Just a random interjection. The Forchettis are one of the wealthiest and most enigmatic families in Willow Creek. The only thing most people in town know about them are their names and faces. Everyone's curious about them, but are too intimidated to go near. Those that try usually end up regretting it. A reality TV crew went to their mansion once to try and pitch a show and ended up chased off the property by the butler. Since I'm the creator though, I don't think they'll mind too much if I divulge a few secrets. This is Marco, self-proclaimed man of the house. He's gruff, quick to anger, and constantly smells like he bathes in cologne. In the past 20 years, he's gone from living in a tiny shack on the edge of town to the biggest mansion Willow Creek has to offer. But no one really knows how he came into that money. The rumors about him range from smart stock investments to being the leader of a local crime syndicate to aliens. Looking at him, I doubt it's shocking that the truth is a lot closer to the second thing than the first or third. He rules the criminal element of Willow Creek from the shadows with an iron fist. There isn't anyone's business that he doesn't know, and there isn't anything he wouldn't do to protect his secrets, especially the ones he keeps from his wife and kids. Ileana Forchetti is a force of nature. Vain, self-absorbed, and snobby, she refuses to accept anything less than what she wants. She's a tornado in heels. When her mother died, Ileana inherited her pair of hoops, a pearl necklace, and a rotten attitude. She's not a very nice person. Not many people in town even go near her. She's too intimidating. She's exceedingly cruel to the help, her own kids, and the only one that even looks at her the wrong way. Her expensive tastes drive Marco up the wall, but it's pointless to argue with her. She'll end up getting what she wants anyway. She and Marco are a match made in heck. Marcello is a demon spawn and has been since the day he was born. The only people that enjoy his presence are Marco and his girlfriend Delilah DeSnoot.
Yes, the same Delilah DeSnoot that was made by Little Simsy. I am a gigantic fan of hers. I watch all of her videos, and every single thing I post on the gallery, I use the Look Little Simsy hashtag in the hopes that maybe she'll acknowledge my existence. I think my heart would explode if she ever did.
Notice me, senpai! Notice me!
That was kinda cringe. Back to the Forchettis.
Anyway, Marcello is a big He has no respect for anyone else except his father. Even his own girlfriend isn't immune from his mean streak. dude is pure evil. He threatens his teachers to give him better grades, torments his little sister, and treats the hired help like they're subhuman. Sim? I don't know. Words. Anyway, Marcello wants nothing more than to take over the family business when he grows up, and his father is absolutely on the same page. But if he does take control someday, he'll be able to maintain the same efficiently running machine of a crime syndicate that his father did? Finally, this is Angelina. She's a little ball of pure sunshine that sees the good in absolutely everything. No one knows how two nasty parents like Marco and Ileana made such a sweetheart, but no one's complaining. Anyone who meets Angelina has a better day because of it. I wish I could give her the world's biggest hug. Poor little thing is the white sheep of her family. This is Principessa, Ileana's spoiled, spiteful Persian. She hates Marco and Marcello, and only really likes Ileana and Angelina. She tends to go out and bully the other cats in their neighborhood, but doesn't usually win. She may be fierce, but ferocity doesn't always equal fighting skills. One more family to go. Let's cross the river for the final Willow Creek family. The Bianchis are the Forchetti's bitter rivals. Never a dull moment when these two households collide. Tristano Bianchi is also a gangster, like Marco, but he's less Robert De Niro and more Joe Pesci. He's hairy, smelly, and all around foul. Relatively new to the criminal scene, he's already been making waves by throwing lavish parties and openly bragging about his illegal deeds. This has deeply angered Marco Forchetti, who thinks Tristano's loud mouth will expose the entire Sim mafia. Their rivalry is one of my favorites in my Sim world. They hate one another so much. It's hilarious. If you thought Beth Ann and Camilla Horvath were extreme, these two are gonna blow your minds. They're always at each other's throats and causing problems for one another. Pretty funny stuff. Martina can't stand her husband, but stays with him because she'd have to earn her own money, and who has time for that? Not Martina, that's for sure. She and Tristano make each other miserable, but neither one wants to bring up the D word, because then one of them would have to lose a house, and they're both too worried that it would end up being themselves. Martina and Ileana Forchetti hate one another almost as much as their husbands hate each other, but their rivalry is a lot more catty. Less all-out brawls, more passive-aggressive comments about one another's clothing, voice, hair, whatever's the choice of the day. If you want some rich mean girl action, Martina and Ileana's back and forth should be right up your alley. Caterina Bianchi, like Angelina Forchetti, is an anomaly. She came from two reprehensible individuals, but somehow emerged as a total angel. I don't know how she manages to keep her cheerful spirit around all of the constant negativity, but Willow Creek would definitely be a lesser place without it. She wants to leave home and follow her own path, but Tristano wants to marry her off to the son of some mafioso or another. Will Caterina ever forge her own identity, or is she trapped in the gilded cage her parents have built for her? You decide. Fumo is Martina's beloved Persian. She says he's the only man in her life that gives a about her, and honestly, that's probably true. Fumo is a territorial little jerk who attacks anybody who isn't Martina and Caterina. There isn't too much to Fumo beneath the surface. He's just a spoiled little guy who thinks he's the king of the world.
Well, that's it for Willow Creek. I hope you enjoy meeting these guys. They were made with a lot of love, and I think they're a lot of fun to play. If you ever want to download any of them for yourself, just remember that you can always find them on the gallery under my EA ID, DoveCalderwood, without any spaces. Next week we'll go on to Oasis Springs. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to thumb it up, subscribe, and click the little bell for more gaming videos I post every Friday. Stay goofy! Deck deck!